This story is one that is really close to our hearts here on Loose Women. It's about our friend, the late Lynda Bellingham. Well, Lynda's two boys claim that they've been cut out of their mother's inheritance. Michael and Robbie Peluso say that Lynda's husband, Michael Pattemore, has spent their mother's money on lavish holidays and gifts to himself. They say that although Lynda left all of her money to Michael, it was her intention that they were looked after. Now, it's really quite a shocking story for us, this story,
It is shocking because the whole country loved Lynda, and particularly in this programme, we all loved her. And we all know, and I'm sure, Nadia, you know even better than me, how much she adored her boys. And I have two boys, so I could identify. I have to tell you, I would be devastated if whatever I had put in place went awry after I go under the bus. And I think it's really important. I mean, what this story does, and we spoke to her son Michael yesterday, and sadly he couldn't come on today, and we don't have that statement today, but he did talk at length yesterday. And the point he wants to make is that it's really important for all of us to put in place our absolute wishes.
So important.
Because she did say in the will that although everything, not illegal, everything was obviously left to Michael, but that she wanted her boys looked after. Now that is a wee bit woolly in the end, and I think you have to be more specific in your will, and it's a good warning. I mean, as I say, it's a trust factor as well. I know you saw my husband there a second ago. I would like to think that I could trust my husband to execute any wishes that I may have, and it does bring the whole element of trust into play in this case, doesn't it?
And also, it does. Even more so when the kids aren't biologically your partner's children as well. You really do have to clearly state who gets what.
Yeah, with second marriages and
well,
so
and your kind of look after my kids might be different to their idea of what looking after your children is.
And we all work, I think, anyway, we all work hoping that we will leave something to our children. You know, that is sort of the back of your mind all the time. Lots of nods from the audience. And I think, I think when that's not carried out, I think it's really, really sad. And I mean, we've had Michael, husband, on the programme, of course. We have, talking about it. But just judging by what I've read about it and heard about it, and also Lynda's sons are a bit upset by this. Many, many things, like making love to Lynda's ghost was horrific, I think, to most of us reading in the paper.
I have been just so uncomfortable with it. I have to say, I was relieved that I wasn't on the show when he was on. I really was relieved. I think, you know, they've had to hear so much, and I think literally now they've been pushed to the edge, you know, with this
we have to remember,
really
we have to also point out, though, that obviously we've no proof of any of this is what the two boys are saying.
No, but I have proof that he sat on television.
Oh, no, he said that, but we've no proof of the money situation.
No, but the point is, he sat on television and said that he's had sex with Lynda's ghost. It's outrageous. It's absolutely, in my opinion, really upset by that. And, you know, I used to know Lynda very well, and I used to look after the boys when they were very small, and she adored those children. And I feel, from what I knew of Lynda, that she would have been horrified with him saying that on television.
Well, she would have been. And can I just say, knowing Lynda, I was on the show with her a lot, and devastated when she passed away. And I used to get angry with her over the boys because she idolised them. I mean, everything she did was for those boys. And I used to say, Lynda, come on, they're in their 20s.
Didn't she?
Yeah, she worked very hard.
But you did say, Colleen, she was also happy with Michael. We also have to discuss
to say, whatever's going on, the thing is, whatever we think of him personally or what he's done.
Like for those, imagine what it's like for the boys, seeing him travelling all around the world and then saying, you know, talking about these very personal things on television. You know, as they've said in the article, they feel that they just haven't had time to grieve because they're so stressed.
Yes, no, absolutely.
But he is saying that that's what Lynda asked him to do.
Yeah, so he's not doing anything.
Problem he had.
I'm sure. But in the paper yesterday, and I assume that this must be coming from the boys. I'm sure Lynda didn't want them to get 750 quid each.
No,
come on. She worked too hard for that. They're out of the home. I mean, as I understand it, they are allegedly out of the house.
Apparently, he said that one of her dying wishes was for him to have a hair transplant. I mean, come on.
Well, we don't know. Well, listen, we've got loads of comments here. Wendy says it's a very sad situation. I feel for Lynda's sons, but we also we all saw how much Lynda loved Michael, and I was shocked to hear that the sons had been left virtually nothing. Gail says Lynda came across as a warm, generous and giving lady. She would have got comfort from knowing all her loved ones would be supporting each other once she had passed. And Carol says Lynda loved him and she knew what was happening to her. Her son should respect her wishes. Michael obviously made her very happy.
Wow. Actually, but you see, the comments actually illustrate the fact that there are two sides to every story.
Yeah.
We are taking this interview from the newspaper yesterday.
Yeah.
We've all heard things down the line, but there are two sides to it all.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you have to get, as you rightly said, June, you've got to get your dying wishes on paper, legally drawn up,
clearly stated,
and make sure you do that.
Meanwhile, love to the boys, because I think they've had to go
And
through
in
it.
actual fact, we did go to Michael Pattemore for a statement, but he hasn't actually given us a statement yet. But if he does, we shall let you know.
Sure.
If you've enjoyed that, then why not click here for more? And don't forget to subscribe by clicking here, so that you never miss out on the best Loose Women moments.
What about her sons, Michael and Robert? How are they coping?
They're OK, because they don't live with me anymore. Well, Michael never lived with us anyway. Robbie's moved out. He's now living with his father. And, yeah, so we've all got our own lives to get on with. They're young, they got their own girlfriends, etc., etc. I'm just Billy No Mate, so, you know.
The book you've written, My Lynda,